I've been released on a lot of labels over the years, and I wanted to give you guys my best tips on what you can do if a label says no, or if they just don't reply at all. Let's start with what to do if they don't reply. If they didn't listen and they didn't reply, it doesn't mean no, it just means that they didn't listen. So the first thing you want to do is find out if they did listen. So make sure you are sending a trackable link when you're submitting your demos. There's a lot of websites like Bitly where you can turn any link into a trackable link. There's also SoundCloud, which will tell you if someone's listened to your track, but I don't recommend sending with SoundCloud only because it over compresses your files and you kind of lose that quality. You're better off using something like Dropbox and then turning it into a Bitly trackable link. And make sure you find out where the label is located and that you send during their business hours, usually 9 to 5 and not on weekends and not on any major holidays. Wait around 7 to 10 business days after sending, and if they still haven't listened, you probably want to find a better contact method because they probably aren't checking the one that you're using. The best contact method would be A&R direct emails like john@somelabel.com, or if you can DM them on Instagram or Facebook, or if you build a relationship with them, get their phone number, and then you can message them your tracks on WhatsApp. I'll be releasing my template that I use to sort all my label and DJ contacts because I think it'll definitely help you guys get everything organized, and you can pre-order that with the link below. If they did listen and they didn't reply, if they listened, give them a week or so to respond because a lot of labels have a lot of A&Rs and they have to get approval from everyone first before they can reply to you that they want to sign your track. If, however, it's been 7 to 10 business days and they still haven't replied, it's probably because the track wasn't the best fit for the label or because it wasn't quality enough. If they did listen but replied no, here are my 5 best strategies for what you can do to turn those no's into yeses with your next submissions. Number 1 is to collab. There are a lot of smaller artists on bigger labels that you might want to get signed on, and they already have those email addresses and they're already in contact with those A&Rs. And by collabing with them, you have a better chance at getting your track heard and getting it signed. Number 2 is radio shows. There's artists on labels, like let's say you're trying to get heard by Spinnin' Records. A lot of Spinnin' Records artists have radio shows, and Spinnin' Records listens to the tracks that they play on those radio shows. So instead of sending straight to Spinnin', you can send them to Mike Williams, to other artists on Spinnin' that have radio shows, get that support, and then Spinnin' can reach out to you. Number 3, improve your quality. Now this might sound obvious, but a lot of artists think their track is pro quality, but they haven't actually gotten feedback from any professional producers. So it's really important that you get that feedback from pro producers first because they'll tell you what it will take to get your track to that professional level where the labels are going to want to sign you. So that means maybe you get a mentor, or maybe you start networking and getting connections with producers that are better than you. It doesn't really make any sense to get feedback from producers who are, not as good as you or who are just your friends, because they're not going to give you that feedback you need to make your track label ready. Number 4, start with smaller labels and work your way up. If you can find a smaller label who's doing good things, is getting good streams on Spotify with their tracks, is getting tracks supported on radio shows, those are the labels that you want to work with because you'll be able to use them to get those supports and get those streams to be able to get collabs and work your way up to these bigger labels. Number 5, consider self-releasing if you're getting supports on radio shows, or if you're getting professional feedback that's saying, hey, this track is awesome, and you're still not getting signed, maybe you should consider self-releasing. If, however, you're not getting the best feedback you sent out to radio shows and you're not getting any supports, I don't suggest self-releasing as like, the next best thing. You should work on the quality, you should work on building your connections, you should work on trying to get more collabs and those other things that we just talked about first, and then try again to get your track signed. You're gonna be a lot better off that way because you're gonna start making better music, making better connections. I think a lot of artists just self-release because the labels aren't replying, but the tracks aren't really ready. They're not like collab ready, they're not professional feedback ready, they're not getting supported, and what happens is you end up having these releases that you kind of regret later and that don't really have that many streams, and maybe you have to spend some money on marketing plans. We could do a whole video on self-releasing and like the best methods for that, so let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about that. I hope this video helped you. If it did, give it a thumbs up and let me know what kind of tips you want me to talk about in my next video. Become an official member of my team to start working together with me, and now you have to choose which of these 2 videos you want to watch next.